Ladies and gentlemen, do I have a video for you today. If you didn't know, I actually got the opportunity to go down to Treyarch and check out Black Ops 6 a little bit early last week. And they brought us into a room, sat us down in a theater, and they're giving us a presentation on Black Ops 6. And they're talking about the campaign, and they're talking about the timeline of what we know for Black Ops so far. And they're like, we know that there was Black Ops 1, and then we had Black Ops Cold War, and then the most recent story to the year 1991 was the first half of the Black Ops 2 story. And yes, Alex Mason is dead. Excuse me? What did you just say? And they acted like it was absolutely nothing, to the point where I almost don't believe them. But they stated Alex Mason is dead moving into Black Ops 6, and that means so much moving forward. And I wanted to make a video explaining that to you guys. And we're also going to address the fact of what if he's not dead, but we'll get to that later on in the video. But I wanted to just kind of explain to you the inferences that we can take away from this. Starting out when they revealed Black Ops 6 at the beginning of the Xbox stream yesterday, one of the first things they showed us was this kind of cinematic cutscene, and in it there was a couple of scenes hidden from Black Ops 2, showing Raul Menendez, Manuel Noriega, and what happened to Frank Woods and Alex Mason. And if you don't know, let me fill you in. Also, I kind of got something new. If you guys didn't know, one of the things that's going to be in Black Ops 6 is a safe house. And inside that safe house is going to be an evidence board where you can put all of your intel that you find through the several missions, piece the puzzle together, figure out who Pantheon is. So I went ahead and, well, I got my own evidence board, and we're going to use that to help us tell the story. So to understand this story, we have to start out in Angola. So in Angola, we have our bad guy who is Raul Menendez, and he has Frank Woods held captive. So Frank Woods is captured. So Frank Woods is held within a shipping container in Angola, and up until this point, we don't know how Frank Woods got captured. Even to this day, we don't know how Raul Menendez got his hands on them. And this takes place in the year 1986. Luckily, Alex Mason and Jason Hudson are sent in and are able to find Frank Woods and save him from Raul Menendez. So because Alex Mason and Jason Hudson come in, Frank Woods is no longer captured, but now there's this connection between Menendez and Frank Woods. Menendez hates Americans, Frank Woods hates Menendez because Menendez held him captive. Now this brings us to our next section of the story, and this is in Nicaragua. Now in Nicaragua, we have our two good guys. So we have Alex Mason and we have Frank Woods. They both go in to assassinate Raul Menendez. They're sent in by the CIA. They go in and they have the orders to kill on sight for Raul Menendez. So inside the compound, we then have our two bad guys. We have, once again, Menendez, and we have another one by the name of Manuel Noriega. He's going to come in a second. So Frank Woods and Alex Mason go into the building, and when they get inside, when Frank Woods realizes that Raul Menendez is there, he goes into a complete rage. And when he does so, pulls the pin on a grenade, throws it into the room, expecting Raul Menendez to be there. And in fact, Manuel Noriega wasn't there. Raul Menendez wasn't in that room. Someone else was. In fact, Manuel Noriega wasn't even in that room whatsoever. That person who was in the room was Raul Menendez's sister, Josefina.
Let's go!
So now Frank Woods throws the nade in the room expecting Raul Menendez to be there. Raul Menendez isn't there, but Josefina is. So Josefina is now dead. So now because of this, Raul Menendez is even more mad at Frank Woods and swears to get revenge. So this brings us to our next mission, which is the Panama City invasion. So in the Panama City invasion, we actually have three good guys going on this mission. First of all, we have the one that's been through everything, Frank Woods. We have his best friend, Alex Mason. And then we have their handler, who is Jason Hudson. Now, when they get into Panama, they end up finding not Raul Menendez, but Manuel Noriega. So Frank Woods captures Manuel Noriega, However, Jason Hudson then gives Frank Woods intel that in fact, Manuel Noriega is not a bad guy. He is actually a CIA informant, and he was able to help them out, and he's going to help them capture Raul Menendez.
Sirs, your transportation is ready. This way, sir.
Do you still have the precious cargo?
Yes. But who the hell is Nexus' target? What's more important than objective false profit?
You have to trust me, Mason. You have to. Hudson out.
Now, all of a sudden, Raul Menendez is there. And as it turns out, Manuel Noriega is not a bad guy. He is one of the good guys. So he's added over in the good guy side. So now we have Manuel Noriega, Jason Hudson, Alex Mason, and Frank Woods all on the good side going after Raul Menendez. So this is the scene that you all know and is the most important part of this video. We get on top of a roof and we have a sniper rifle fixed on a target who Manuel Noriega is telling us is Raul Menendez. Over the radio, we hear Jason Hudson telling us to take the shot.
End this now, Woods. Take the headshot. Shoot him in the fucking head.
No!
So, Frank Woods takes the shot at Raul Menendez, but as it turns out, that wasn't really what was going on.
Mason! Fool. You bastard! Menendez!
As it turns out, Frank Woods took the shot at Alex Mason, and in fact, Manuel Noriega wasn't a good guy. He was indeed a bad guy. This is where we see Raul Menendez interrogate Frank Woods and Hudson, wanting them to live in a life of misery. And he gives them the option. Either they kill Frank Woods or they kill Jason Hudson, and Hudson ends up taking one for the team. So in this room, we have all of these characters plus another one who is David Mason. Now, after this point, Menendez, he is in the wind. Noriega, in the wind. They're gone until the year 2014. We'll come back to that. And then all of our main characters, we have Alex Mason, who we now know is dead. We have David Mason, who is now just extremely sad. His father's died. We have Jason Hudson. He's dead. And then we have Frank Woods, who is injured. So after all of this, we have David Mason, who is now sad. Frank Woods, who is now crippled, and that is really all who make it out of this mission really alive. So here's the thing, in Black Ops 2, there are two different endings, one of which where you shoot Alex Mason in the leg. Frank Woods is a bad shot, shoots him in the leg, and by the very end, we found out that he wasn't dead. He was in hiding all the way into the year 2025 until Raul Menendez was captured or killed. Then he could come out of the wet work because for some reason, Raul Menendez told him he would kill his son or something along those lines. We never really got the lore on that one. Or option number 2, Frank Woods shot him in the head and he was dead. As it turns out, as the Treyarch developers told us, that is the canon ending. Alex Mason is dead, Jason Hudson is dead, and Frank Woods is in a wheelchair. That is the canon ending. Now, you may be wondering how this actually happened, and there is an answer for that. As it turns out, Raul Menendez and Manuel Noriega had a plan. They captured David Mason and used him as leverage to get Alex Mason to put the hood on and Jason Hudson to tell Frank Woods to take the shot. He then does so, and we found out what happened. But how did they get David Mason? How did they get the leverage? That is because of a mole in the CIA. And as it turns out, we were actually warned about this years earlier by Lev Kravchenko.
He's more powerful than you know. He even has people in the CIA.
Bullshit! This guy's fucking with us.
Now this plays directly into the story of Black Ops 6. There's a mole in the CIA, there's bad guys in the CIA, we are trying to figure out who they are. So that is the story of Black Ops 6 moving forward. Also, while we were at Treyarch, they told us that they were using Black Ops 6 to establish canon within the Black Ops universe. So, for example, Alex Mason dying, and it's also going to set up the future of the Black Ops storyline too, whether or not we see Menendez, if he comes out of the wet work before the year 2014, or what role All of that is going to play in the future of the Black Ops story moving forward. So that is what we're going to find out in Black Ops 6. And needless to say, I am very excited about it. So I am curious to hear what you guys have to say. What did you think of Alex Mason being dead? What do you think of that story moving forward? It should mean that Frank Woods potentially might take David Mason under his wing in like a father figure role, which could be a really cool dynamic in the game if they do that. But again, we don't know. Now, honestly, this is incredibly hard for me to believe, and I'm not going to fully believe it until we hear someone in game say, yeah, Alex Mason died, or hear about his funeral, or David Mason comes in and says something about it, because it's just so hard to believe that like a whole thing they could do, a reveal or whatever, they're just like, yeah, Alex Mason's dead. But for now, I guess we got to go with that, just assuming moving forward, indeed, Alex Mason is dead. So let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed the evidence board, hit that like button. Let me know down in the comments. We can bring it back in future videos. If you like the video, hit the like, subscribe, notifications, all of that jazz. And until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the